Yes. He was just totally out of the picture.
Hello.
Evening, young lady.
How are you all today?
Me too. I'm glad you made it.
I got the same one I got here back. Yeah. I got it. You know, Bob, he just looked down here. He said he was, that's what he said. He's tired of this, he's bad. That's it. I don't know if you know. I don't know.
She's far. You think there's time? It's maybe it's like. All right. Okay, I'm gonna call to order the town of Unicoi Board of Mayor and Alderman meeting for September 18th, 2023. Welcome everyone. Invocation will be given by Reverend Jeff Autry, who is with us here now. He is from West Park Street Baptist Church in Irving, and that then we will do the pledge and we will get underway. So, Mr. Autry, have the floor.
All right, let's pray. Our Father in heaven, we thank you so much for this day you blessed us with. We thank you for your mercy and grace. We thank you for your Son, Jesus. Lord, we thank you for all things that you've done in our hearts and our lives. We thank you for the privilege to gather here tonight. Father, we pray for these council members, Lord, the mayor, the ones that are making the decisions for this community, Lord, for this township. Father, we pray that you would guide them, direct them, give them wisdom. Lord, I pray that you'd use them mightily, Lord, to accomplish your will. Father, I pray that you'd bless the meeting. I pray that you'd help our attitudes and our mindset. Father, everything would be done in accordance to your will, Lord, and in a peaceful manner. Father, have your great way. We love you. We thank you for loving us. Whatever's done, we'll bless your name. For it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Okay, everybody stand for the pledge. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, Ms. Hessler, roll call, please.
Alderman Levin. Alderman McIntyre.
Yes.
Alderman Redford. Here. Vice Mayor Cooper.
Here.
Mayor Brown.
Here.
Can I make a motion to amend the agenda for discussion on Massachusetts?
Yes, you can make a motion to amend the agenda. You need a second.
Second.
Okay, a second. And discussion? Quick discussion, particularly down or where are we gonna put it?
Yeah, I just wondered where we was at on Massachusetts. I mean, it's went on for a long time. And did we get a grant on that?
We haven't heard, but, okay, so now that we understand what specifically the request is for, where do we want to add that to the agenda? And we could make it.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Okay, that's good. Well, where do we want to put it?
You put it under other business, but, you need to vote.
Yes, we gotta vote, okay, all right, go ahead and call them for vote on amending the agenda.
Alderman McIntyre,
Yes.
Alderman Radford. Yes. Vice Mayor Copeland,
Yes.
Mayor Wolf.
Yes. Okay, I'm gonna get it in there, we'll do old business A, ordinance 316, and then we'll add a B in there. And we'll do discussion of Massachusetts, okay? So we'll do 8B. Okay, all right. If there's a citizen here that would like to speak, on a topic not associated with the agenda, the papers are over here. I see our typical crowd, although.
Can we approve the minutes first, please?
Oh, okay, I'm just gonna hand those out. I'm just gonna hand them out, that's okay, or let people know they're available. Okay, those are there. Now, number 5, approval of the minutes from August. Those are in your packets, you should have time to review. We'll entertain a motion.
I so moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any comments about those minutes or questions? All right, hearing none, let's vote.
Alderman McIntyre,
Yes.
Alderman Radford. Yes. Vice Mayor Copeland,
Yes.
Mayor Wolf.
Yes. Okay, I'm not aware that the citizen has turned in a request to
We don't have anything.
speak. Okay, and we'll move on to number 8 on our agenda. Under old business, we will start with ordinance 2023-316. This is a second reading and public hearing for an ordinance in the town of Unicoi to adopt changes to Title 1, Chapter 2 of the municipal code regarding public comment at board meetings. This was easily passed in a prior month. This just, I think it relocates where some of the citizen comments can come, and addresses that there's always the opportunity. You got to pick this up at a municipal. My mind isn't reminding me.
Right, the municipal conference, they discussed about having an ordinance specifically for the public comment section pursuant to Public Chapter 300. And the purpose of it is if the violation is enforceable.
We have a order. Okay, all right. So, this is a public hearing as well. So I will close the BMA meeting, open public meeting, any public comment on this ordinance, ensuring, guaranteeing, putting in black and white that the town of Unicoi has citizen comment. Hearing none, the public meeting is closed. We're back to the BMA meeting. We need a motion and a second.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second. Any other discussion on this ordinance? Hearing none, Ms. Kessler, let's vote.
Alderman McIntyre,
Yes.
Alderman Radford. Yes. Vice Mayor Copeland,
Yes.
Mayor Wolf.
Yes. Okay, now with our amended agenda, we are on old business B, which will be discussion of Massachusetts. Alderman McIntyre,
Okay, now, we have a grant, correct?
we have not been awarded a grant. Well, we have 2 sections. We have a phase 1 and a phase 2.
Okay.
Phase 1, we do have grant money secured for. It's ARPA money, it's not grant money we applied for, but it's ARPA money.
Okay, so we've got how much on that?
50,000 from the county for our utilities.
Okay. Now, Summer Tower said they do that for 100,000. Is that what we're going?
I don't know to be honest with you, I don't know which portion of Massachusetts Summer Sugar was talking about. The project we are talking about with the CDBG grant could be 900,000. It's gonna deal with stormwater, road work. I mean, it's gonna cover a lot of things. It's not, stormwater runoff is one of the issues as well with Massachusetts.
Well, do we have any idea when we want to do that, Kathy? I mean,
The second phase, the second phase or the first?
The first phase.
Those, we didn't have to submit bids because it's going through the county section paying for it. So we didn't have to do bids, but there has been, Ms. Kessler has reached out to two or three different places, to see what they would do for the $50,000. And, she probably would have that in the reporter's report. Will that be in your reporter's report?
We have received one cost estimate from Summers on the $50,000. The other two, one would not submit a cost estimate, and then we've got calls into two others and not heard back from it.
Okay, so that's the status of that.
But 50,000 is not gonna do the first portion, is it?
Yes.
What the 50,000 was gonna do was be to even out the worst section of Massachusetts.
Is that
To
from
even it
like
out. And
Jess
this is-
Hobson Road to Mallard Crossing?
It was from the beginning of Dawn, like a little before Dawn Woods in the road, towards Mallard Crossing.
So it's not all the way up to Jess Hobson Road?
It was going right after, from what I got from utilities, they wanted to start right after where they had paid.
Where they replace the manhole.
They were gonna start right after it and go down the road. Because they considered that to be the worst.
Okay, is the town willing to pay the rest of it to do from Jess Hobson Road down to Mallard Crossing? I mean, while Summer and Taylor's there, it seems like,
They are not contracted to do that work yet. Nobody is contracted to do that work yet. And actually,
The
the,
CDBG covers two sections of Massachusetts.
and that's like a lot of money on stormwater as well. And we haven't heard yet if we have been awarded that.
but I think whatever we need to do as far as the town is go ahead and do the first part of it from Jess Hobson Road down to Mallard Crossing. I mean, do you?
We're in the process of that.
Okay.
We're in the process of that with reaching out to these.
Okay, that's the reason I want to bring it up, so they fully understand what we're doing.
We are in the process of that.
So when we do it, we will do
Do that worst part.
from Jess Hobson down to Mallard Crossing.
Well, there's seldom ramps, the roads all changed names, it's been quite a tour to make sure where we were. But yes, when we get somebody lined up, we've been walking out with them, we can talk about what we need.
When we get approval, if we are approved for the CDBG grant, we should know in October. They said the fall. I'm just assuming October would be the fall.
Yes,
And at that point, that rehabilitation of Massachusetts will end up being over $1 million.
and that's the green, this goes all the way up to Green Street where the railroad is. Okay, so it's above where we're talking about in phase one, and then below. Okay, it's not real bad down here. But up in here, it's really bad, but the stormwater runoff is really bad right here. Here's where it's really bad. The first phase will deal with straightening out, leveling out, that portion.
Okay, now that's between Swingle Road and Jess Hobson Road, the blue part. So that's what they're gonna work on.
That'll be the first. Well,
The 50,000 will be from where the manhole cover was replaced. It's gonna be the worst part of it. So we were asked to get cost estimates from three And this is actually through Early Utilities. And Oscar Cooper brought up the bid process. Their bid limit is 50,000. That's why we're doing 50, that's money, ARPA money, TDEC money. So that's why we're doing the cost estimates that you came in and made a copy of what we had. And that's the only one we have at this point.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion, if I've understood everything everybody's saying. If you get the other two bids in for the $50,000 total, I'd like to make a motion that when we get that in, that the town put enough money to it to go ahead and pay from just Hobson down to Mallard Crossing.
But that's covered by the CDBG grant. There's two sections the CDBG grant covers, and you're talking about part of that that's going to be on the CDBG.
I
And it's like-
I thought we were told phase one was from just Hobson down to Mallard Crossing, and then phase two was the other. Is that wrong or right?
That was wrong. If you have the map, do you have the map right there? Okay, if you take a look at what's marked in green, let me see the one you're showing.
Okay, Heather, turn that out so that you can see which map. So when she references it.
That's
The
right.
the two sections in green,
No, right here.
Okay.
the two sections in green is covered by the CDBG. The CDBG does not cover the blue highlights.
That's between.
Okay.
So,
It actually goes all the way down to the interstate bridge.
okay, see, it's just, I get asked a lot of questions, you know, and I don't know what to tell them.
We're working on
Okay.
it. We really
Yeah, I
are.
hear you
working-
saying
we
that,
really
you
are
know.
working.
And that's where I'm at with it, you know, because people ask me, and I said, well, I really don't have a clue.
We really are working.
Okay.
There's a lot of hoops. It's not easy. But we really are. And the money that we're requesting through CDBG, that's gonna be a pretty extensive project. It's gonna be a stormwater runoff as well. This is not gonna be a Band-Aid. This is gonna be a serious attempt to control the water that flows down along Massachusetts.
And the, part of our ARPA money that we set up in the budget for infrastructure, which is about $370,000, will go as our match with that CDBG. In addition, there will be probably over $100,000 that we'll have to take out of fund balance to do our match if we get that CDBG.
But
Because
did we,
it's over $1 million project.
but I guess I'm hard of hearing getting old, but all along I thought we talked about going from just Hobson down to Mallard Crossing.
Yeah, I know, and there was some confusion about what was phase one.
And you know what, the roads, when somebody leaves here and they go pull up roads on maps, they don't have the same names. They don't have the same names. It has been a challenge.
And I still say we need maps.
Well, if you'll notice that map right there,
Where's that?
I put those two maps together, and they don't have the names of the roads that they're called now on that map.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, we need we need maps.
We talked about, well, time ago, somebody was gonna get some, where were those coming from?
First Tennessee Development.
Yeah, First Tennessee Development District is gonna get their map.
This is juice.
Even a big one.
See, Freeman Road. I don't know.
Look at that.
You know what I'm saying?
That's got to be it right there. That's Don's house. On the east of Freeman Road is what they're calling Mallard Crossing.
And I've even heard people say something.
Correct.
And then this
Okay.
goes up to Tiffany's house.
Y'all,
See, the first stage should go from there.
Do we want to use meeting time for y'all to discuss it, or do y'all want to
I
discuss
mean,
it
if you
after?
all would
or
like
what?
to schedule a work session, to sit and look at the map, and we can do that as well.
Okay.
You know, you want to do that? We can do that.
Sure. Yeah,
We need to do that and get it cleared of what phase one, phase two is and what we're doing, because that's.
Well, I think we're clear on that. I don't know.
Well,
if the
I'm
whole
not
board is,
clear.
but I think
I'm
we
not.
are.
okay, all right, moving on then. New business, resolution 2023-352. And, would it be appropriate, Ms. Kessler, can we consider A and B together, even though they are two different things? One is a resolution that we are going to accept the money from the home funding. And then B is that we will enter into contract with the Tennessee Development District. Is it appropriate to take those together? Yes. Okay, so, all right, resolution of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen of the Town of Unicoi. We have been approved, and this resolution 2023-352 will document that we are going to receive funding from the HOME program, which is a Tennessee Housing Development Agency program to provide housing rehabilitation for low and very low income persons. And then section B, which is actually a contract that will be attached to it, can come along in the same discussion and vote for approval. So we're going to take those two together.
Yeah, I do a motion in a second, and then, we do have Corinna Myers here with First Tennessee Development District in case anyone has any questions.
Okay, so when we vote, we're going to vote on both of those items. When we vote, we're going to vote on both of those at the same time. Does that make sense?
Okay, we're voting on the one we had a meeting on.
The resolution that we've accepted the money, yeah, and then we will enter into contract with First Tennessee Development District to administer those funds. Okay, so we'll vote together. Okay, so, to open discussion, is there a motion? Motion open. Okay, and is there a second? I'll make the second. Now we'll open for discussion or questions.
Discussion.
Discussion and questions, yes.
Well, on the grant, we don't know where the money's going. You know, we're getting the grant, but we don't have any say-so about how it's spent. Is that correct?
Well, I'm sure we have say so, but the grant is administered through First Tennessee Development District. And we have a representative here if you would like to hear.
Yeah, and you know, if they had it like limited to $10,000-$15,000 per home, you know, it would help a lot of people.
Would you like me to chime in on it?
Yes, come on,
So I can
yeah.
kind of explain how the grant works. You do have this amount, but we host a public meeting. So we have it in the newspaper and we try to get everyone to come in and they get an application. Now, these applications, people go home, fill them out, and we look at each applicant based off how many children they have in the home, the age. Then we also go look at their homes and see what kind of conditions are they in. Like, do they have a roof? Do they have a hole? Do they have water? And those are kind of considered, and it's based off points. Now, we do rank these applications because unfortunately, we won't be able to help all these people who's coming in. But we do try to help the ones who need it the most. And it's all based on ranking. And we do have an inspector who comes out and looks at these homes. And he comes back and tells us, well, they're going to need a heat pump. They're going to need a new roof. Now, the idea of doing a limit for 10,000 is a good idea. But when it comes to paying for these supplies, it's almost, we can't do too much with 10,000. So we have to kind of just let our inspector go look at the home, but we want to get these people to live in their home. So he'll go in, and if there is where, like for instance, mobile homes, it's almost cheaper to replace those. So he'll say, well, the floor's falling in, the roof's falling in, the commodes don't work. It's all of these repairs, and it's almost, it costs extra to do all those repairs compared to buying a new mobile home. So we'll tear down and build a new one, or bring in a new one. But that's kind of how we rank and decide who's going to get assistance in that aspect. You have any other questions along with that? Your follow-up question?
No, and the representatives here, they said that, it couldn't be used on rental property.
If it, you'd be used on.
Could not be used on rental property. Okay, and they said that you had to be a U.S. citizen.
That's true. Yes, the three requirements, they have to have low income, so we do ask for all of their income documents. They must own the property, so we ask for, taxes for property, and they must own the home. With that grant, THDA, it won't let us work on anything if they don't own the property and they don't own the home. So those are our main three requirements that they must have for this grant.
And it does say here they had to live in the home for at least a year.
Yes. Yes, that is also part of the requirement.
So in other words, the $250,000 could be used all on one home.
No, we do try to break it up. There is a limit per home. I do have it, but it's for Johnson City. We haven't got the grant for Unicoi yet, but normally they're about the same. But we do have a limit on each home. And we don't put just one fund out there.
But
if that makes sense.
you don't know what the limit is.
I can give you one that's close. I can't give you the exact ones that don't have the grant for Unicoi, because it is a THDA. But when it comes to other homes, I'm sure they match. It looks like this one was 50,000 for the sub-analysis limits. That's the maximum that we can go. But depending on your guys' grant, it will be more than that. I don't know exactly because I don't have the grant. But we did work on a home that came out to about like 90,000, but that was quick repairs, and we did do a mobile home with that as well. So that gives you an idea, but there is a limit for each of these homes, and you'll know once you get the grant.
And so does the town have any liability on our part in that?
That's a good question. I want to say no, because most of all of the liability would come from the people who do the work. We take the grants, we bid out these houses, and so these contractors, whoever has the lowest bid, will go in, fix the home, and whatever repairs they do, they are liable for it, the warranty, if that's what your question was referring to.
There's no liability would befall the town.
Yeah, you guys won't pay, it comes straight from the grant for it. And then again, a lot of people ask questions about, well, do we have to pay this back? We do a deed of trust, depending on what we do. Sometimes it's just a repair, it's 5 years, and the amount that we do on the home will sit, and it's prorated by years. So each year it goes down. So if they live in this home for 5 years, they don't have to pay anything back, and then it's just released. But the only time they do have to pay it back is if they sell it. So let's say year 3, they have to pay whatever is prorated by that time, but they're also selling the home. So they kind of pay with what they sell. But the goal is to keep everyone in the homes, and normally the ones who do apply that's where they're living. This is their forever home. And so that really helps for them, but no, they don't have to pay it back. The county's not have to either.
I'm gonna jump into that. I spent 2 or 3 hours reading through the 37 pages. I'm not know if you all read through all 30 pages or not. But, you're right on the rehabilitation, it's 5 years. After 1 year, you pay 80% back. After 4 years, 20, and 5, you don't pay anything back. But on the reconstruction is 15 years.
Yes.
So and as you mentioned, property owner will sign a grant agreement, grant note, and a deed of trust. So I don't know how many people out here is going to sign a deed of trust for their property to get a grant.
Well, I know that does sound a little scary to people. That's their number one thing that they come up with. But we do talk to them and explain how the grant is. You do not pay it back. We don't take property. We don't take anything. It's just sitting out there. It just sits there. And when we kind of explain it to them, if you're not planning on selling your home within the 15 years, then you don't have to worry about paying it back. It's only if you sell the home. But the reconstruction is where we tear down the entire home and build a brand new one. So yes, that one is a lot longer compared to the 5-year where we just come in and put a heat pump in.
How many years have y'all been doing this, administrating this kind of grant?
We've been doing them for a very long time. Bill Forrester, he's been here a lot longer than I have, and I want to say he started in 1980s. I don't know, don't
So
quote me on
there's
that.
a lot of experience administrating these under your belt.
Yes, this is not our first grant. We've had multiple THCA grants. We've currently got some going on now. We do these very often. And we do a consortium one that's exactly the same, but that's with Washington County and Bristol. So we're constantly doing these. But once people do get a little nervous about the deed of trust and the grant, but once we explain it to them, and a lot of times they're like, well, what if I pass away? What happens then? It just goes to whoever they will it to. Their heir, the next children, whoever it's going to, it's going to them. We never take any deeds or property or anything. It's only if they sell the home. And that's from the sale.
Well, the other question I got is the contract for administrative services. When you read through this whole thing, the town has a lot they have to do,
Yes.
okay? And the administrative services, are we gonna be paid for doing all that?
There is administration, so we do most of it. Pretty much all you guys have to do is sign off. This is what we did. So we do, for example, we do an environmental review on every house that we work on. Are they in the flood zone? Are they in the airport? And so on. So we create this packet and we send it to the state THCA, and we also send it to you. You guys just look over it and sign it. Now, I'm not too sure on your question if you guys also get admin pay, because I'm not sure after you contract it to us, we're pretty much doing the whole thing.
Well, but if you read through here, it doesn't say that. It doesn't say that you all do everything. Like it says that the town is responsible for paying the contractor for the work. We're responsible for getting it inspected. There's a lot we have to do if indeed we have to follow this document.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so when it comes to like paying the contractors, a little bit how that works is we work up the documents, we get everything for it, and then we send it to Mayor. She signs off of it, and that's basically it getting paid. And that's how it's done before. So we'll send a letter, hey, we're submitting this pay request, this is how much we're spending or paying them. And then we send a receipt, you send them everything for that pay document. And it does go through them because you guys are the one who got the money, the grant. So you guys will give them that, but we just do everything for you.
Well,
Sign off. Now, I'm not too sure on that.
I didn't read it quite exactly like you're saying. I read it a little bit different.
That's fine.
And the question I've got, do we have the manpower, Mayor and Debbie, to do this work? Do we have the manpower to?
I think go there.
The $250,000 grant, $235,000 is for the actual projects. First Tennessee Development District will get $14,100.
Right.
So it's like she said, I think basically it's a formality to sign off on. I don't think that it's going to require additional manpower. The town of Iroquois has done one of these grants before I came, that it's doable. I mean, I just couldn't see not, doing that for your community,
Mr. Hull, have you read through this document completely? Okay. Did all the board members read through it?
I've been to a training with it as well. It's gonna be standard. This is something that's been done repeatedly.
And I believe the city of Iroquois and the county of Iroquois both got grants.
County did as well, yes.
So anyone who lives outside the city limits will also be able to apply, and people within the city limits will, and that's actually pretty cool to see it happen at the same time. Because sometimes we get just city limits and turn people away. So this one's kind of neat because it's both. So it's basically the entire county, everyone's equal for it. So that was kind of neat. But I kind of see where you're coming from. You're a little bit nervous about, well, who's going to do this. In my past, and working with these THCA grants, it's normally the mayor that I talk to. Now, it could be different with this one, But normally it's the mayors that we come and send all the emails to, and she normally signs it, or he, whoever's mayor in that county will sign it, and then that's pretty much our contact person from there.
Have you ever had anybody that, because they have gone in with you, not do it again, saying that they weren't satisfied with your job?
With the work
With
or
your
the
performance, yeah, with the whole grant, you know, was anybody
The
dissatisfied?
municipality or county,
Yeah,
Okay,
municipality or county was not
Okay.
satisfied.
We have not. Now I am a little bit new. This is my third year working here. But with my time being here, no one has said anything. It's been pretty smooth. We keep a good relationship with the county mayor and the city mayor, and if we have any questions, they just let us know. But me and Renee, especially Renee, she is so thorough, and she's always providing extra documents, and if you do have to do something, she does it like a copy and paste. You got to do an email, here's this copy and paste, this is how much it is. So she does a great job at doing that, but no, we have not had any other counties or city limits come back and say we don't like it.
Karina, did you say you have to do a public meeting?
We do,
Okay.
for each THDA grant that we get, we have to host a public meeting. And we try to get the newspaper, try to get everybody in, and that's where we meet the public, and we go through the grants, we discuss the deed of trust, we discuss the grant note, we discuss like what happens the only time you have to pay. So we go very detailed, and that's when people can ask questions, and then they get their application. Now, normally after the public meeting, anyone who is not able to come, we will mail it to them, email it to them, whichever, but we also have a running list at our office of people who call from the city limits of Unicoi and the county, and it's called a future grant list. We'll also call them and send out flyers to let them know about the public meeting. And it's actually quite a bit of a long list of who all the people who call and have to be in this county. And we've been telling them we're working on it. So there is a big need already. So we'll call them and let them know about the public.
So what happens after they fill out their application?
Then we schedule a one-on-one appointment with them. After the public meeting, we have sign-up sheets. So once they come in at another day, we'll meet one-on-one, go through the application. There are supporting documents that we will need, like income, do they own the home, do they own the property, et cetera. And then we'll go through each document, make copies of it, and then that's pretty much it. And that's when they'll ask one-on-one questions. We'll give them our phone number or direct line and an email. And we do tell everyone we are not a fast solution. Unfortunately, we're not fast. We're not right there. It takes a bit of time to get some of these projects done. And we do tell them that at the one-on-one meeting and at the public meeting that we're not a fast solution. And we try not to get timelines out, but it normally takes about a year or less. But that's just an idea of what we've done in the past. And we do tell them. And so they'll call and be like, what's the status on this grant? And so we'll give them an update that we're working on these projects. We're still going through these. And then after the one-on-one meeting, that's when we start doing windshield surveys. We'll drive by the homes. We'll see how the outside conditions are. And then we go from there ranking everyone. And then once everyone's ranked, we'll mail them a letter, let them know which area they're at. We'll call each individual to let them know where they're at in the ranking system and kind of what to expect of this process. But at that moment, when we're working on whoever's number one, it is a waiting game for the other people. And we'll just keep going down the line of projects until we run out of funds. And then we let everyone know. And then once we run out of funds, we close it. And then that's pretty much it. So that's just a very quick rundown of this long process of the program. But it is beneficial, and we do tell everyone, yes, it is a long time waiting, but once we start helping you, it really changes people's lives, for sure. That was one of the reasons why I joined the program, seeing some people who can't get into their homes, they get a ramp. That changes someone's life tremendously, and that's kind of why we like to do it.
Well, we've already had a lady come in that, literally, she said her front porch was just falling in.
Yeah, you see those a lot too. Yeah, for sure, she can also apply as well. If she does own her own property, she could be eligible as well.
that everything is verified through you, that the ownership, if their income changes anytime in between all that, does they make even more money than what they're making if they get a better job? Does that do anything with that grant?
It, depending on what kind of, how it starts out, a lot of times we'll do a income when they first apply, or we'll do the income at the very beginning. But we do try to keep up, if they do make over the income limits that are provided by THCA, unfortunately, we won't be able to help because it is a low income program and we have to follow these regulations. So yes, if they happen to get another job on top of what they have and it's over the income, unfortunately, we won't be able to help. We have to move on to the next.
So you all decide who gets picked, who gets chosen.
We don't pick, it's all ranked into an Excel sheet and everything is based off points. And then our inspector comes back with points as well. So we don't physically pick people, it's just ranked. But yes, we do have this spreadsheet with us that ranks them.
You know, and some people might think, well, this is a waste of time to ask questions, but you know, a grant, people say a grant is free, but it costs every taxpaying citizen. You know, and that's the reason I think it's necessary to ask questions that we do. And, you know, this is a good thing, it's a grant, but then too, you got, you know, property owning taxpaying citizens that work every day, both up and down the road, and tired of vehicles all places for 15 years. You know, so it's kind of frustrating in that, you know, but.
Yeah, I mean, I'm here for questions, so.
Yeah, and you know, every time you hear grant, well, it's free, it's not free.
No, it's not free.
It costs everybody, everybody's working in here, it's costing. So, there you go,
You're right, grants aren't free.
there you go.
Is there any other questions?
Thank you for,
Yeah.
You've done a good job.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry I couldn't answer your questions to the best, but I am here. I can introduce myself. She mentioned I am Karina Myers. I'm a mayor's assistant. So we are always available. Renee is available and I'm available. So if you do have any other questions, even after this, that you want to ask more about, just let us know and we can get the best answer for you.
Thank you very much. Okay, so we've had a motion and a second, and we've had discussion. So now I would like Ms. Kester to call roll for the vote, and remember, we're voting on acceptance of the money and agreeing to go into contract with First Tennessee Development District to administer when we vote those two things. So, Alderman Haggard,
Yes,
Alderman Radford. Yes. Vice Mayor Cooper,
No,
Mayor Boyd. Yes. Thank you. Okay. All right, now we go to, ordinance 2023-317, which is a first reading consideration of an ordinance, for an amendment to the fiscal year 23-24 budget, that was passed as part of ordinance 2023-315. Ms. Kessler, I will let you, you have it attached in here, but particularly what brought this up, I will let you share. It went up by 200. Well, it's the home grant.
Okay,
Budget
but
for
adjusted,
The grant and for the offsetting expense, the $249,100. Also, the police training supplemental pay, the $3,200, was left off of the grant revenue on our budget, so we're adding that back in. And actually, we only had budgeted $2,400 for post supplemental pay, and it should have been $3,200 because Aaron Ember still gets the $800, even though he's not here. So that's an adjustment there. And then the offset's going into the police department.
okay, so for the purpose of accounting, keeping the numbers in the right places at the right times. So we have a motion and a second to move forward on ordinance 2023-317. Motion to approve. Is there a second?
second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? questions? Anything? All right, Ms. Kester, let's call for vote, please.
Alderman McIntyre,
Yes.
Alderman Radford, yes. Oscar Cooper.
Yes.
Mayor Wolf.
Yes. Okay, next is consideration of resolution 2023-353. Public Entity Partners is the insurance company that carries our liability insurance and has awarded monies that can go directly for the purchase of a bulletproof vest. Isn't that what it's planned to purchase? Yeah. So that money was accounted for in the resolution we just did, but it will go for.
No, this doesn't have it.
Oh, I thought that was part of it.
This is
Oh, that was the
grant.
other
This
pay.
is another grant.
That was the other pay. I'm sorry, that was the other pay. I knew you were getting money there. Was it 35? How much is the public entities? 35?
It's $1,000.
It's 1,000.
I thought it was more.
We
Okay.
have a match of
Okay.
50%.
And it's going to go for the purchase of a
We're gonna do it for this.
bulletproof vest. Okay. I'm gonna stumble through that one.
Yeah, the grant's $1,000 grant with 50/50.
But it's a max, but we only go to 4,800 because the number of people we had in the town, I think it's only 800 is not up. Because you see it too.
Okay.
Laura sent me $1,000, so I don't know.
Okay. It'll be, okay, and that will go toward a bulletproof vest. Okay, is there a motion and a second to approve this resolution?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Is there a second? Motion and a second, thank you. Any further discussion?
Laura did have it as definition in her BMA meeting, minutes, or that's $1,000. I guess the only question I've got is the match coming from the police department.
Yes.
Okay, any further questions, comments? Ms. Kessler?
Alderman McIntyre,
Yes.
Alderman Radford. Yes. Oscar Cooper,
Yes.
Mayor Wolf.
Yes. Okay, reports of officers and committees. Austin Finch is out of town. We will not have a report from economic development. So Lisa Willis, you are up for Buffalo Valley Historic Association.
Okay, well, we've got the roof on.
Good. I
Uh,
think it looks good.
Yeah, that looks good.
Yeah.
But we're gonna have to have, gutters on it or it's gonna be running.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that was wooden gutters,
And,
but I didn't know what, have to look at, it just put wooden gutters.
okay,
We'll talk about gutters.
okay.
And, I talked to Kevin about the nails. He's gonna take care of that tomorrow. We're having the, bell ringing, the Constitution bell ringing on Sunday at 2:00. Over Mountain, Ricky guys will be there and they'll do a short reenactment. And, the Judge Cook will be there, Kathy will be speaking, and we'll have different ones with DAR. And, we'll have some light refreshments and we'll be bringing the bell. There for the Constitution, be educational to find out things in the Constitution. We also had a problem with the people coming and taking showers and leaving their personal things. So we're gonna try to remedy that. Leave a note for them that they need to take their personal things with them.
Interesting.
But then we'll have, October 14th is the Heritage Day, and we are going to incorporate a scarecrow contest, so it could be with the business, a club, or individual families, or whatever, and have them, they make their own scarecrow from, it's not one of these bottles, you have to make it homemade, and bring it, and we'll display it out around the cabin, and do like a little contest. I think it was the other way in the water. And we've got a lot scheduled for the Heritage Day, so you just have to come out and see what we got.
Are you gonna do that Friday as well for students, not gonna do the school thing anymore?
They don't really, they're into that at school.
Okay, okay. Well, I know, yeah, being out of school was an issue. Okay,
Yeah.
all right, okay, thank you.
I think the roof looked good.
I think it looks good.
You don't notice.
The color, it's just, the blend, it's perfect, yeah. It looks good, I think. Good job on that. All right, planning.
Planning and the busy day. County Unified Planning Commission met on September 6, 2023, under new business. The discussion of amendments to the zoning ordinance was struck from the agenda. The workshop is voted and scheduled for the Planning Commission BZA for Thursday, September 28th, from 1 to 4, located at the Tourist Information Center here at Buffalo Room. The agenda was amended for Larry Bird, the property located at 333 Golf Course Road, Unicoi, Tennessee. It was approved by the board that his 3 lots next to each other to be converted into 1 lot. That's all on the planning board, and then on the Board of Zoning Appeals. Also met on September the 6th. Under new business was a variance request for carport and steps to be put on the other side of the house submitted by Renee LeGuin for property located at 101 Gooch Road, Unicoi, Tennessee. It was voted by the board for approval under special exception due to the location of the property. The next was a variance request for construction submitted by Larry Bird for property located at 333 Golf Course Road, Unicoi, Tennessee. It was voted by the board to grant a 15-foot variance due to land being narrow. And the agenda was amended for Charles Hollifield for property located at 110 Clearwater Drive, Unicoi, Tennessee. He had an application for a temporary use permit. It was struck from the agenda due to subdivision regulations not being met by Mr. Hollifield.
Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, there is a Mountain Harvest Kitchen report that has been printed in your packet. Looks like it is maintaining, and then, there's also printed then BMA, update for Parks and Rec. Ag Day, I guess the community arts is good. I didn't, yeah.
I think it was.
I think
The food
I
truck.
thought they right at the very last, and one of the people there that was there last year that said that last year there were a lot of people, they didn't buy as much, but not as many people came, but it seemed like they bought.
They bought more. Okay.
I was still a few of it, like, you know, they had said that.
Food truck rally was successful again, 423 donated to the fire department. There will be another food truck rally on Wednesday, October 11th, and that money will go to benefit the Unicoi County Public Library. So that will be good on the 11th. Okay, Ag Day, 8th graders tour through, we will be doing the kitchen. They do a lot of things on Ag Day. Okay, and then I think, I'm just highlighting some of those activities, and then I think, police department.
First, the police department this month, we had 10 tickets, 17 code enforcement, 15 incidents, 1 arrest, 7 wrecks. We go along with the code enforcement with Clearwater and Shepherd's Branch. We have a couple of them taken care of instead, but Attorney Hall has worked tirelessly on them. So we got that worked out. We got that while we were flooding again this month with different areas.
All right, thank you, Nathan. And then next we go to municipal court report.
And this is the municipal court report for August, the 1st through the 31st. And the total payments to disperse were $1,288.25. Litigation tax is $94.33. Department of Safety fines, $80.75. Education and training, $8.55. And the CSI fees, $225 for net disbursement revenue of $879.62. We had 4 speeding tickets.
RJ Elliott. Okay. Municipal, oh, that was recorder's report, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, I've got some pictures I wanted to show you to give you all another update on some of the projects. Again, this is back at Hensley and Marlton, with the exposed gas line. And you can see how bad it was, all the asphalt and the undercutting of the road. And, then we've got that repaired, so that's how it looks now.
Beautiful.
I know.
Beautiful.
And he put the guardrail up as well.
This is fun.
So here we're looking at the cabin, and basically when they had torn the wood shakes off the roof, they ran into all this rot. So they've had to actually pull this out, remove it. We ordered a permachink, which was about $1,600 for permachink. And to fill in between, apparently they had used concrete in between those logs, and where it had cracked and rain had gotten in, and it just rotted. And so he pulled out all of the rot near the top where the roof was going on. And so, you know, that was unforeseen. So there's some good pictures, if you went out and made those, and it's, you know, good pictures of the roof, and it looks nice. And, so hopefully the rot is taken care of. There still needs to be some more work done. But it's a good thing, I think, that we replaced the roof, because we didn't realize the amount of damage that was happening. Yeah. So, as you recall, that bid was for $24,140. So the additional labor that he had to do, which is now, it's separate, it's $2,170. And of course, I said we had to order $1,600 worth of permachine, which is, you know, pretty expensive stuff, had a little bit left. But we need to continue to do a little bit more work as we can. We did think that it does need gutters, but right now, we've kind of used the money that we had allotted for that. We used all the budget, basically, for that cabin. Now Laura is working on a grant that we can probably will get, and we can use it to do some more things down there. Go ahead and fix it, and probably do something with the logs as far as maybe some oil sealer or something, to make them look a little bit better.
How much have we spent so far on it, you know?
Together, let's see, 26,692 is what we had budgeted, so we went over that by, with the permachink being 1,600, we're over.
2,800, something like that.
28. But I tell you, I think we made the right decision on the contractor. Because they spent a lot of time out there. I think a lot of people would just cover that up.
Well, I think he started, August the 21st, and, he just gave us his bill this week, so.
That's pretty good.
On Friday.
It's pretty good.
He worked very hard, and I think it looks good. Yeah, so I'm happy with that.
That's good.
I don't have any pictures. I think I showed them the last month about Paddle Creek. Obviously, we've got some issues at Paddle Creek that we need to have addressed. Chief Deck has been involved in looking at the damage to the property from the excavating at the top, which is causing most of the mud and the stormwater runoff. It's not anything that the town has done. They've determined that it's all from moving the dirt around. So as soon as we get an estimate from Bowman Construction on Powell Creek, we'll see where we come in there. Sunny Lane is an issue that we've got. I think I've talked to, Alderman McIntyre about it. I think he went out and took a look at it. And, it's a very nice street, but at the end of the street, they had built a house up there at the top, probably about 5 years ago. 5 years ago, and when they, built that house, and apparently Terry Haynes had paved the road up through there, it's causing like a river of water coming from over at 26 down and running right into two manufactured homes at the top of that hill where the house has been built. And I've seen the videos. I've been out there with Tony, and Tony went out there with Alderman McIntyre, and it's unbelievable, these videos with this amount of water, storm water that is coming into these two properties. It's running into their basement, it's cracking their foundation. So I wanted to make you all aware of it. It's, a complaint that they've got, and there's just no drainage on that beside that road. And you probably have a solution for it. And since you went out there and looked at it, I don't know that you saw the videos, but I did. It was pretty bad.
And it's pretty obvious, the way the ground slopes and the road, it all comes right toward those two modulars and stuff. So I told Tony, I said, it requires thought. We have to think about it, see what we need to do on that. And I think we're gonna have to take, probably it needs to be ditched between that house and that first modular, where the yard comes down, and then clean those ditches out coming down where the driveways are.
Yeah, there's tiles underneath the driveways. I noticed that the second, manufactured home has a rock in front of the drain. I don't know if you noticed that or not. But she said that's there just to keep it from, from people falling in when they're mowing. Well, it's actually blocking the whole drain.
Right.
And I'm not saying that that's causing a problem. It's not. It's all the water coming in off that hill. Right. It just curves and goes right towards those two houses.
But, it'd be easy to ditch the left-hand side, where the houses are, against that fence, but then you've got that knob over to the left-hand side of that new home.
Right.
And there's no way to stop that water. And Tony was thinking there may be some kind of tile coming under that 4-lane too.
There's a tile going under there, but he wasn't sure where the entrance was, but if we could route the water down underneath to go into the creek. I think that we do need to.
You'll see that hillside, all that's grown up so much, I told him, it's gotta be a tile somewhere. To have that much water concentrated in one spot.
Lower.
Yeah, because it's a jungle there, it's not like rainwater.
I feel bad for them. I mean, they're desperate. I mean, they've got two really nice places. Everything's been, manicured just so, very neat. And just, it's really a nice
Tell me exactly where
area.
Sunny Lane is.
You want that?
Tell me exactly where this is, Sunny Lane.
That's just,
There's where the,
right,
Richard Anderson's property, and then he'll go coming to Irwin from Richard property, where it's got his head, then this first row needs the next one, to the right, yeah.
you're not the driveway right next to Anderson's, but the next one right this way.
Yeah, okay, all right. I'm not seeing sign, but I didn't think where it was. Okay, all right.
I think last month I mentioned about Irwin Aluminum coming out and doing an estimate for the guttering at the EMS building. And they said it was $1,600. Well, they went to the wrong building. They went to the building beside it. So after they went back to the right building, the $1,600 ended up being $4,000. So, Ridgeline Repair, they came and repaired the roof, for $485. And so they repaired that gutter in the back for $310. So we'll see how it goes, with that. But 4,000 was like, that's pretty much all I've got for that.
Thank you. Ready for financials?
Okay, for the month of August, we got our public entity partners invoice, that we paid in the month of August. And it was, about $8,662 more than what we had budgeted. So as far as the difference in what was budgeted and what we had to pay, the police department's share of that was about $6,352. And then the rest of it falls into the finance department, which is a catch-all for everything else. So, I've done line item moves to cover that overage, in the insurance. So I kind of, moved money around from insurance line items, workers' comp, trying to cover all the overages in the, for the insurance. That, you know, when we budgeted that in March, we did not have the actual cost of what that invoice was going to be. So we did, also for the general fund and for Mountain Harvest Kitchen, because it's not just the liability insurance went up, it was also the building insurance went up as well. So I did line item moves in the kitchen as well.
Debbie, they give you any reason why it went up so much?
We just got the invoice and just realized that, I mean, you know, this is the insurance that covers general liability, law enforcement liability, errors and omissions, liability, automobile, and so, yeah, not good.
Do we need to maybe quote those next year sometime? Go out for quotes?
You know, we can do that.
I mean, you know, never know.
We can do that for sure. See how it goes. I don't know if we can beat them, that's, they're the ones that cover those municipalities, so. Anyway, on the balance sheet for the general fund, our cash right now, my call liquid cash is about $1,730,853. And remember, we're looking at August. And the ARPA money, we're at $470,000. And that's, covering the balances left on the school, because we paid them, quite a bit of money, most of it except for $71,000, on the gym. And when they ask for the rest of it, we'll finish that off. And our Snyder endowment's at 133, 173. Now, this could be adjusted for the amount that we spent on the cabin. I'm just kind of waiting to see if maybe we get some of these grants. And if we get the grant on the cabin, then we won't have to take as much from the Snyder money. We've got the one certificate of deposit that's at Mount Carmel Bank, and it's drawing 4.05, and it matures in December. And tomorrow, the mayor and Alderman Radford and myself will go to Mount Carmel Bank, and we'll open up another CD from the money that we closed at, like in Tennessee, it was about $97,000. So we'll do another CD tomorrow, and they're paying 5.384, which is really good. I did not do the Excel spreadsheet on the financials like I normally do, because we have that in next gen, so I'm going to use that, so it might look a little bit not familiar to you all. But as far as the revenue for the general fund, for the month, our revenues were $411,906. Year to date, it was $591,387. And our expenses for the month were $389,663. And our profit for the month was $22,242. Year to date, our expenses were $527,125. And the profit for July and August was $64,262. Mountain Harvest Kitchen for the month is showing a loss of $2,758, and year-to-date, we're at a loss of $12,949.81. Our rent revenue is down and our expenses are up, because we now have the salary split between, Mountain Harvest Kitchen and Park and Rec. So there's, half of that salary and fringes hitting the kitchen, which for last year we had part-time with no fringes. And, so that's what's making that, showing that loss. No activity really on the drug fund. We have moved everything into fund balance except for $80 worth of funds pending. And so as soon as we realize, if that's ours or not, we'll leave that there. The graphs, there's a very bottom of your papers for the financials. Our local option sales tax for August was $82,709, which is a little bit up from the previous year. And our state shared taxes are $40,944 for the month of August. In July, they were $40,157, and just a little bit higher than the previous fiscal year, $39,825.
If we are going to see any impact from the tax-free month, that will be next month.
Yeah,
We'll see it.
It'll be October.
It'll be October, okay.
Ooh.
Okay. Thank you. All right, we need to approve the financial report. Is there a motion and a second?
Motion to approve.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any questions or comments? I'm hearing none. Ms. Kester, call for the vote, please.
Alderman McIntyre.
Yes.
Alderman Redford. Yes. Vice Mayor Cooper.
Yes.
Mayor Bullock.
Yes. All right, thank you for all of that. All right, any announcements? Okay, bell ringing on Sunday.
BZA and the planning board up at the 28, 1 to 4.
Yep. Okay. All right, anything else? Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Kevin doesn't want to wait. Do you, do you want to take that? Kevin, right now. Yeah. Yeah, I'm telling you, every time I go to the roads, the names, the board,
This is.
okay, and this right here is.